for a long time, the left, I think, was at the forefront of really important social revolutions and cultural revolutions around what we now call woke issues. So, like race and gender, right? Took many, many years to sort of undo the work of segregation. And definitely the left was at the forefront of that. It took many, many years to get, 96% of Americans to say they're okay with interracial marriage. That was a fight that the left waged and won successfully. Gay marriage, right? Took many years to get gay Americans equal protection before the law. That was the left waged that fight and won that fight. And now 65% of Americans support gay marriage. That includes a lot of Christians, right? Who now say, yeah, I support that right? So a lot of these issues, the left was at the forefront of moving America to a place where now most Americans are sort of on the same page about equal rights. The problem is that they didn't just like lay down their arms and say, my God, you guys, we won. This is so amazing. Like, can you believe, who would have thought the Republicans would be on the side of gay marriage and, equal protections for Black Americans? Who would have thought that a Republican president would release 5,000 Black men from prison? That was President Trump's First Step Act, right? Who would have thought? But they didn't lay down their arms. What they did was they needed to keep going, right? They took things a step further. They overreached. They started saying there's no difference between men and women, and you're a bigot if your religion tells you that there is. They started saying, to want to live in a colorblind society, which was Dr. King's dream, that's now racist, right? Like they took it to a place where you have to have a college degree to even see how that makes sense. Like that kind of academic thinking, right? Where it's like, no, whatever you think is intuitive and commonsensical, that's bad. That's the bad thing, right? That kind of demonization of the way that regular people think, they took it too far. That's what I call wokeness. Certainly not the thing that was initially, when Black people started using the word woke as slang in the 70s, they meant, things that are really important, like combating police brutality and combating mass incarceration. That now there's no partisan divide on those issues anymore. The partisan divide now is on these like overreach issues. And so what you're seeing now is, for the first time in my life, Americans are getting more conservative because they're turning against these sort of revolutionary powers on the left. And, so the left will say these issues now are the same as those issues that you're so happy we won. This is just the next step. But I don't think that's true. Like, I think that it was very clear, that segregation was wrong to many, 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 many Americans, like living in the South, even when it was going on, there were a lot of people who knew it was wrong because intuitively, commonsensically, it was evil. It was obvious that it was evil. Now they've taken it to a place where they've demonized the commonsensical. And so I think that thing where like Americans are turning against that, I guess I keep coming back to this, but I think that there's so much wisdom and insight and truth in where the masses are at and what they want for themselves and their families. We all want the same things, which is, to protect our children and our families. And like, so I think, to me, like there are certain things the government should be involved in, healthcare, housing. I agree with you. Like there has to be some kind of governmental response to that. We have to start, keep the pressure on. But honestly, I think, people have written off the right as a place where populist revolutionary legislation can happen. And I think that that's a big mistake because it seems to be more likely it could be coming from there. And because right now what we're seeing is a cultural revolution on the right.
Are you willing now to look at new political solutions? Are you willing to become active in political life yourself, to run your own communities? Let me know in the comments below.
I agree with everything she freaking said. And we just did the CRT, critical race theory video where I reacted to Ryan Chapman, who broke it down very clearly and precisely in history and what it is. And they talked about the idea of color blindness was actually just a practice of whiteness. And one of the things that I reacted to a video a while ago was talked about the downfall of most powerful civilizations. A lot of people feel like America is like on the end of that, right? And one of the things that they talk about is one of the signs that the Western civilization is collapsing is that they will try to pervert common sense or human nature, right? We see that a lot now when it comes to gender and sexuality. I'm not saying being gay or anything like that is a perversion. This idea that there is no gender and there is no biological difference and stuff like that, trying to sort of fuck up natural human instincts and biology, but also our natural common sense of what we see right in front of our eyes and how we feel and what our intuition and what our gut feeling is telling us. It's like, no, everything you feel is all been programmed by you, by society, by the system, by the man, by racism, by white supremacy, by patriarchy. So anything you even think is wrong and you need to be reprogrammed. Or what they say in critical race theory, you need to wake up to race consciousness, right? And I agree with her that like classical liberalism was amazing, but I feel like if you look again at the history of postmodernism, how it attached itself to the sort of revolutionary, sort of when it comes to civil rights movement, feminism, and the gay rights movement, trans rights movement, they always had this underlining perversion underneath it where they always wanted to take it and the next step further. If they can sort of marry themselves into these really like good, righteous, virtuous things that we can always agree with, then they can kind of fool us to continuing to follow them to radicalize society and the system even further. I also want to say that a lot of these sort of non-profits that rely on funding, but they're non-profits through feminism, racism, black stuff like Black Lives Matter, queer activists, trans activists, they have to constantly find problems to exist. So it's almost like big pharma. Like a lot of these nonprofit organizations, they don't necessarily want the problem to be fixed because then they stop getting funding and the people at the top of that stop making money. But we as a society has to look past that. And I understand that, again, like she said, most people just want to be left alone and have a simple life. But if you don't speak up when you can, this simple life that you want, even modestly so, that would also be corroded and taken away from you, right? You just want a little rent so you can pass down to your children. You just want a little property so you have something to give to your grandkids. Well, hey, if Marxism gets their way, then you won't have no property because property rights is whiteness. She said a lot and I agree with all of it. I love Russell Brand for doing it. Anyway, guys, I'm talking too much. That's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that button to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. If you guys want to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below and links to all of the alternative platforms I'm on. My socials, all the ways to support me and all the ways to contact me for business is always in the links down below. And if you like, you can super thanks. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle, or I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section, hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My storage is usually what's most up to date. I also have my second channel, Speak Freely, links down below, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye!